Glad you are back with us on your Financial Compass. Brad Johansson along with Chris Bulman, Bulman Wealth Group, and your Financial Compass review. Thanks for being with us. Hey!
He gets mad if I wave to the camera. So
it's you guys again.
He waits, I know, unfortunately, for you and I, Brad. So I was thinking earlier, well, Chris did his wave. Usually he waits to the end of the show because that's what the fans really want to see. But I was thinking,
we were the Seven Dwarves, I would be Happy Dwarf and you'd be Grumpy Dwarf.
Oh, yeah. I don't even have to be a dwarf to get that nickname. What was I going to say? Nicknames. That's what I was going to. So that's a nice segue. That wasn't planned. Do you have a nickname? Chris has one. I was going to see if you had one.
A lot of people call me B-Joe.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Chris he's a handsome man, but Gerber, because he has a baby face. He looks like the Gerber baby.
Interesting.
No, Scott, he does not look like the Gerber, because I can see the Gerber baby right now with all the jars that
the Gerber baby has more hair than I do. So
I love it. Again, thanks for staying with us, even through all of that. We appreciate your time, and your time becomes valuable. And you choose to spend it on this program quite a bit, and we're grateful for that. Here's what we've also learned about this. A lot of you end up spending time on this and going, once you get into the office, guys, I've been watching you for like a year and have finally decided to call. I'll put the number up. If you've been one of those year waiters, 888-970-4685, that you can come together and say, I'm not going to wait another year to put this whole thing together, because most of the stuff that we talk about on this program is fairly time sensitive, that the earlier you get going on it, the better for you. Let's put together a review for you on what is fairly significant: income. So let's talk today about income by design. Is this so different? Yeah, I'm not even going to say, it's not even a question. I already know. This is very different than what you have been doing for most of the time, guys. And what we're talking about is moving from this accumulation phase to this preservation and distribution phase. So how do we start the income by design conversation if all we've ever known is accumulation?
yeah, I mean, I would say you go through most of your life, or we go through most of our lives with a paycheck, correct? We have a job. The only time we really maybe struggle is if we're ever in between jobs. So maybe we have a month, 2 months, 6 months in between jobs. Now we've got to figure out, where's the income going to come from? How are we going to pay the bills? What bills? And what are we going to do? As you enter in retirement, that's now the rest of your life, right? We have to figure this out. And this is what we do every day. We build financial plans and we build income plans. And sometimes people call and they say, well, I have a nest egg. I have $1 million or $2 million or whatever it is. But how do I get the money from you? And sometimes I'm like, oh, I didn't.
A handwritten letter with a request, and then we have to approve it. I don't like that purchase.
In crayon.
Yeah, but I mean, really, that's how basic the question can be. How do we get money? And so we answer all those questions, and also not only how do we get it, but which buckets do we take it from? Do we take it from the 401k, from the IRA, from the non-qualified account, from your trading account that you have fun with? Where do we get the money? Social Security, pensions, houses, so many places. So that's what we're going to be talking about today.
Okay, so let's do this transition. If I have an account, I have a portfolio, which is really what most people throw down and say, here's my plan, right? Because this is what you've had. So let's begin the transition. If I answer that question, how do I get money from you? Once I hand you my portfolio, what's the beginning of creating an income plan look like as I walk into the office? Which is why I'm giving you this number to say, can I investigate this? I've been with somebody who hasn't talked about any of this, second opinion. How do I start this transition?
Yeah, so in that scenario, a lot of times, as you said, people will throw their portfolio down. Here's my plan. It's not the plan. We have to zoom out for a second, and a few different areas we have to cover. One, okay, what are our needs? Let's say we're going to be retiring in 3 years, or that is our goal. So we got 3 years to kind of figure things out leading up to retirement, but then we might have 30 years to plan for after that. So sometimes it's kind of that pre-retirement budget. So we'll send someone a budget form. No one likes budget. The name budget.
How about a spending plan?
Yeah, spending plan. How about?
There you go.
So a spending plan. We need to know what the goal is. Like, hey, we need $7,500 a month.
Okay.
And then we start to figure out, and a lot of times people think, well, my account's $1.5 million. That's on its own, it can't do it all. And we always say, hey, but you forgot about your pension, or you forgot about Social Security, or maybe you don't have a pension, maybe just you and your wife have Social Security. People forget those streams of income do a lot of damage in a good way towards, achieving that goal. But the point is, we have to know what the goal is, what is the income needs, then we factor in what streams of income do we have, be it working now and then either pensions or Social Security and retirement. Then we have to figure out things like, okay, how much money we have in investment accounts? What kind of rate of return are we shooting for realistically in relation to how much risk you want to take or don't want to take? Then we have to factor in taxes, inflation. It's a lot of things that's daunting, and that's why it's the biggest fear every year when they do these polls for retirees.
Run out of money.
Number 2 is death. Number 3 is being on television. And so it's really, that's where I always say this in every show. I think the most important thing we do is put the pieces together so you don't have to figure it out on your own. And it really adds a lot of, there's a lot of liberation from it when you can see it on paper, like, wow, I actually can retire in 3 years and I'm going to be fine no matter what.
Okay, you give this 3 years. Well, that would be cool. There aren't a lot of people that start planning 3 years before retirement. It might be 3 minutes before they walk in your office.
That's probably more accurate.
To say, by the way, I'm ready to be done with this. So, okay, optimal. Maybe optimal's 3 years. It might even be more than that.
Probably.
But if we're working into it and we're saying, you know what, I'm done, I just can't do this anymore, and I'd like to figure out a time when I can go in and tell them I can't do this anymore. Is there a timing on this that we have to begin with where we start this process, whether it's 3 years in prep or I'm going to do this in 3 months from now?
Yeah, I mean, so we get callers and we get clients of all ages. We have people that are 80 or 85. We've had people call in at 88 or 90 saying, hey, I have a 401k rollover, can you help me? People still work sometimes at that age. And we also get down to 35, 40. We can only help you if you have assets for us to help you with. So first of all, if you have $250,000, $500,000 or more, we can help you. Then it comes down to timing. There's the growth phase, right? If you're Scott's age, 21, he's still
22,
saving for 22.
as of
Sorry, just had a
yesterday.
birthday. He's saving for retirement. We need growth. We know there's going to be volatility. We know that the markets are going to go up and down, and we're going to build a plan for growth. We'll talk about income later. Myself, I'm 84, so I need an income plan. I need to match up for. We talked about this on previous shows. I want to make sure that my wife is protected and she has income for the rest of her life. And if she has it for the rest of her life, she's going to live longer than me, so that means I'll have it for the rest of my life, right? So we're building these income plans. Whatever age you are, could be growth plan, could be SpaceX and Tesla and volatile stocks, or it could be an income plan, including a bunch of things that can't lose money, but will provide the income. And I will say too, there are a lot of folks that practice based on, we want to get you the highest income for the rest of your life. I think that's one way you can go. And if you always have income, maybe you don't have kids, you want to leave a legacy to, you just want to spend it, you want guaranteed income, that's one thing you can do, but you're always going to pay taxes on that money that you're getting, unless it's Roth, but you're going to pay taxes. So do you really want the most income, or do you want the income that you need?
Correct.
And I think those are two, and I don't know that either one's right or wrong, but we need to know which one you want to plan for.
Correct.
It's what you want.
Yeah.
It's a little bit of Burger King. Have it your way. And 888-970-4685 is the number to put together your complimentary written financial compass review. What does it include? All the things that we just talked about. It is how to create your own personal pension. What's your income going to be for the rest of your life? And what do you need? Maybe it's time for a second opinion because nobody has shared a lot of this with you. So make that call. If it's a 15-minute call on the phone, cool. We'll do that as well. In person's always better, but maybe it's just trying to figure out whether this whole thing's a fit. 888-970-4685. Let's put it together for you. We'll talk about how we continue on that path when we return.
Successful retirement to me is someone who doesn't have to worry about where their next paycheck's going to come from, where the income's going to come from. Are they going to run out of income? Are they going to run out of money? Are they going to meet their financial goals with respect to maybe they want to leave money to their children? Maybe they want to leave money to a philanthropy or a university.
Being able to wake up and know the day is an open slate and not having to worry about things. Or say someone's going on a trip with family, they're going to the beach, and if the headline says, the market's down again or something, they're not concerned. Bulman Wealth has my back here. We've got a plan in place. My portfolio is set up in a way that concern is not there.
All the pieces fit together like a puzzle. When that all fits together and you can see the peace of mind that gives families, that is a successful retirement.
Retiring in the next 3 years, a long and fulfilling retirement requires more than just a nest egg. It requires a plan for potential challenges like taxes, inflation, and unexpected expenses. Our complimentary ebook, Retiring in the Next 3 Years, 4 case studies, explores these issues through real-life scenarios. Get insights to help you build a lasting retirement plan. Download your free copy today.
Glad you're with us on Your Financial Compass. I recognize that lady. Do you have any idea who that is?
I don't. I get asked a lot. We have the same last name, which is a very common last name, so I've never seen
Julie's
her.
at the much
I'd like
better-
to know her, though.
Much better half on this. We're talking about your income and figuring that whole thing out, turning the complex into simple, except it's hard to do when you're talking about 20 or 30 years. How many variables are we actually dealing with when we're putting an income plan together? And I guess maybe even as I ask that, it's coming into my brain. The number of variables may change depending on the person who's walking into the office, right?
Always.
Yeah. So it's one of those things, what's the old saying? The only thing you can plan for a plan is that plans change. So we'll make a plan, say an initial plan. And as Brad was saying, there's variables like stock market risk. How much risk are we willing to take or not? Inflation, obviously, it's always been there. It's been a more household thing the last several years.
Yeah.
Maybe you have children or grandchildren. There's going to be weddings, or you're going to help them buy a house. But the point is, we don't just make an income plan once and, hey, we're good to go. Come back in a couple years. Hopefully we're still on track. Don't spend any more than you're supposed to. The plan is like a living, breathing thing. And we'll have things come up and someone's like, hey, I have a client right now. They're looking at buying a second home so they can be closer to their grandson. And we're structuring it out, ran through the plan. Everything works. And it still works using that variable, but that's where the plan needs to be malleable in the sense of when big financial decisions come up, or variables, we know they will, especially over a 20 or 30 year span. There's always a nice peace of mind that comes from seeing us run the numbers and say, you're still fine. You're going to be okay. Or, oh no, our account dropped a little bit, or we didn't gain as much this year, but we're okay. We're always continually updating it, but that keeps that peace of mind in place. And we know there's going to be variables, and the plan has to be able to flow with them, and ours do.
No, I want to bring this up because this is part of why you wrote the book, which is coming out. Dun, da, 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 premiere here. I want to show you what we've got that you have put together. How long did it take you to put together the financial compass?
It was
Do you really want to know?
it was a while in the making, but a lot of clients over the years. This is based on all the
As
learning.
you talk about it, you can scan this QR code because it may go where there may be a timing mechanism on this slide. But you scan the QR code while it's up. You'll send this to them for free?
You will send it for free, yeah.
Okay, now back to your answer.
Yeah, I mean, this is years of experience working with people and what we've learned from that. We talk about our bucket approach that we talk about quite a bit. We talk about income planning. We talk about the 5 areas that we focus on for every client that comes in the door. And those 5 being, if you talk to, I don't want to mention any big names, but if you talk to a financial planner, they're going to focus on your assets. Manage your stocks, bonds, mutual funds, and that's what we do too. But that's just one of the 5. Mm-hmm. We also manage legacy planning, healthcare planning, tax planning, and building income plans, and managing that. And every time somebody comes in, we're going through that checklist to make sure that we're set and we're complete. And when we talk about an income plan, which we're talking about in the last segment, that becomes one of the most important things in retirement, right? Mm-hmm. And so when you come in and you say, here's our budget, it's $5,000 or $8,000 a month, I'm going to ask you, did you include travel? Well, no, we didn't include that. Well, don't you like to travel? Well, yeah, we have kids in Southern California. We like to go to Europe. We like to go to Hawaii. Well, we better add, and then I'll say, are you a Four Seasons person or Best Western? So are we adding 10,000 a year or 20 or what's the number? If you don't add that, that can be a big drag on your plan that you didn't add something. We also need to add cars. People say my cars are paid off. Well, what about 5 years from now, 10 years from now? Are you going to have to get a new one at some point? What about gas? What do we spend on that? What do we have income from rental houses? Is it just Social Security? Do we have a pension? Do we have a private note out to a family member that owes us? All of that stuff goes into the plan. And now all of a sudden you're not walking around juggling all these balls and trying to remember where your income's coming from, what you're going to spend money on. It's all there.
Okay, so it's all there. I want to kind of adjust when I started talking about the accumulation phase, which is where we are. So it's all here. I got this. The adjustment in the income plan is, I'm a little more concerned about this staying here, and it being here doesn't give me a lot of confidence that it's going to be here. How do we adjust in this safety plan, or putting this in different places rather than just the market, which is where it's always been?
Yeah, usually we'll go to the casino, buy cryptocurrency, maybe some swampland in Florida. When folks have accumulated, say, $2 million, let's just use that as an example. Think of it like a Thanksgiving meal. We don't just serve the turkey. You have all these other sides and things that you add in to bring to the dinner, and we can compartmentalize our bucket of money. There's the safer bucket. Maybe we put in something that can't lose anything. The trade-off is it won't earn as much. Well, that's okay, because maybe we have slide a portion into an area that is more speculative or risky or open to growth. The point is, our risk tolerances change.
Yeah.
The majority of our clients are 55 and older, and they're not wanting to take as much risk now at 60, 65 as they were at a much younger age, because the needs have changed. And as you said earlier, Brad, we're in the preservation and distribution phase, and we can structure it properly. I used to like roller coasters. I'm 46 now, and I don't like them as much.
Yeah.
My tastes change. I don't want to work with Chris anymore. My tastes change there since my last show. But the point is, it doesn't all have to be shoved into one bucket.
Yeah. In distribution phase, that not shoving it into one bucket kind of change. I'm going back again to the individualized, because I think for a lot of you, you have been stuck in the one size fits none, for lack of a better term, because you've been told, with maybe a lot of big box advisors, this is the best place for you. So I've got your friend in it, I've got your coworkers in it, everybody's in it, this is the place to stay. This is where it all changes when we go, okay, my needs are changing, 55 and older, 60, 65, and I can't ride the roller coaster anymore, kind of thing. That, okay, what can you ride? And that risk tolerance is adjustable as we go through life events as well?
For sure, yeah. Yeah, I mean, give you an example. If we're using the bucket approach, which we often do, which is in the book that we talked about, we're going to have a portion in the safe bucket. We call safe, income, and growth. In the safe bucket, we want at least enough money for maybe 3 to 6 months of any kind of emergencies or expenses that'll come up. We park that there. That money's not going to earn much, maybe 0 to 2 or 3%. Could be 4 or 5% in the past few years, but it's safe money. That's not going to go down.
But before you move on to that, my brain says, hold it, can't you put me in something that earned, because I've been used to earning 10% plus. I don't really feel very good about you putting me in something that's 2 and 3%.
Absolutely, you can, but
First time the market goes down, everyone has a plan till they're punched in the face.
Till the punch in the face, okay. Said Mike Tyson. And if that, give you a good example, if you have money that just seems like it always goes up, if it seems like it always goes up, it's because you forgot when it goes down, number one. But what if you need that money, all of a sudden you need a new roof, you're going to buy the child or grandchild a car, and the market had dropped 10%. Now you're sitting there saying, well, I don't want to take it out while it's down. You could have had the money liquid, and that's really what it's for, more of emergencies. You don't want to have an emergency while the market's down. What if it was 2000, 2002? What if it was 08? What if it was 18 or 2022? You don't want to have an emergency when the market's down 20, 25%, unless you have money parked where it can't go down. Now, move to the next bucket, the safety bucket or the income bucket. Income bucket, I like to design personally, we're probably all a little bit different, but with usually 5 or 10 years of income. And the reason is, If we have 10 years of income built out, so you tell me you need $75,000 a year, 36 is going to come from Social Security, so the rest we're going to take from this income bucket. We're going to build a portfolio that's safe but has growth and is going to provide this income to you for the next 10 years. Now, what that allows us to do is put the rest of the money in the growth bucket. What we know about a 10-year period in the market is almost every 10-year period the market will double. So if we're able to even just get 7%, we're going to double whatever we put in the growth bucket. 10 years later, we slide money back into the income bucket and we do it again. You never have to worry about your income, your lifestyle, the way you live, the way you travel, if we've built the plan that way. And that's really what we're trying to accomplish.
What you're trying to accomplish is make sure that your money lasts until your last breath. Start now, 888-970-4685. Complimentary financial compass review to put together all of these things that look like an income engine that is going to last. Or a second opinion, because you're not quite sure you're in the right spot. 888-970-4685. Want to chat? Do that now. Make the call. We'll be right back.
The team at Bulman Wealth Group is exceptional, from our advisor team to our service team, which is, I think, second to none. But it all revolves around the idea that our clients are vitally important.
One of the ways I feel like we differentiate ourselves is we want a relationship with our clients. And I really learned that from Chris. Is there's so many dollars and cents and all this information to know, but at the end of the day, it's got to be a trust and a like, because we're partnering with somebody. So I want them to think a trip to see me is not a trip to the DMV or to the dentist, but it's just being able to share in the good times and be available to be a resource in the bad times too.
Our clients are our friends. I really view them as part of our family because we go through some pretty significant life events. So it's really being a partner with our clients through all those life events and through the life journey.
Glad you're with us. Your Financial Compass. Brad Johansson along with Chris and Scott. Financial Compass review is what you're looking for. We're talking income. This is the number to get there. We don't have a whole lot of time, but I want to review. From your experience, the biggest difference in our transition, and we don't like change, but we're switching jobs and we're changing from accumulation to distribution, whether we like it or not. What's the biggest difference in making that move?
Well, let me use a quick example. So several years ago, some clients of mine, the husband, we had put the plan together for him to retire. He's a few years older than his wife. And 6 months, so he was able to retire. We ran out the plan. Then 6 months later, they came in for a review. Actually, it was probably 4 or 5 months. Came in and she looked kind of sad. I was like, what's wrong? He's like, well, he gets to sleep in every day. I'm still going to work. And I know we had planned for me to work 2 more years. I'm just getting kind of tired of this. I'm jealous. So I want to spend time with him at home, not worrying about this. So we ran the plan. I said, come back in a week. And long story short, I showed how they could retire. That was on a Tuesday night. She put in her 2-week notice that Friday. So as we said, you're coming up to a bridge, and if the bridge says you have a 65% chance to make it to the other side, you're probably not going to do it unless Chris is chasing you. But if you can see a plan, when our software will show the potential success percentage of a plan from now to the youngest person's age 95, if it shows 100% or even 90% or above, I like those odds. So if I can see that and that bridge, as you were saying, from the working years into retirement, and we can see how it all works, man, that really makes that decision a lot more easy.
You started the program by saying, okay, let's start planning 3 years. And there are going to be a lot of people say, I'm not even close to that. Yeah. I got to go, and I haven't done that, and I really haven't done a whole lot of planning. So speak to the majority out there, because we always say that a lot of people who are coming in really don't have a plan. Have I missed my window? And there are going to be some people out there who are saying, I missed my window, I didn't do this right, that means I'm just going to have to do it. Is it worth coming in to investigate to see where we are right now and maybe be surprised that you haven't missed your window?
Yeah, and I can remember exactly when that happened with Scott's client. We talked about it afterwards, and I can tell you, I had another client, to your point, she was 71, and she had come in, she was a wholesaler, and she was just working, happy as can be. But she really wanted to retire. And I said, well, why aren't you retired? She said, well, my guy said I have to keep working for, like 5 more years. And she said, are you telling me I can retire? I said, I'm telling you, I don't understand why you didn't retire 3 years ago. Look at this plan. And she retired right then and has loved it ever since. And her husband has since passed away, but she got to spend all that extra time at home with her husband or traveling. They had motorcycles, just had a lot of experience. The other thing I just want to bring up, some people out there think they always have to earn more and earn more. You mentioned earlier, I always get 10% or 12%. With that, the more you want comes more volatility. So there's a quote, I think it was Warren Buffett said, why sacrifice what you have for that which you do not need? The only way you know what you don't need is if you do a plan. And if you have 2 million or 5 million or 1 million, and that's enough for the rest of your life, you can keep pushing and try to get more, but you also may hit a bad spot in the market and get less. So why sacrifice that which you have for what you do not need is something to always remember.
The book is just coming out in July, so I want you to have this. If you can throw that back up real quick, Levi. This is a scan of the QR code for the Financial Compass that took Chris 42 years to write, and now it's here. And
it's all color pictures.
I actually ghost wrote it for him. You're welcome.
If you scan the QR code, they will send it out to you. I always talk about it as a user's guide because nobody really taught you how to retire. And this is why we're here on the program. The book can be in your hands to help you with that. And hopefully within this, you will see some of the things that you need to give you that understanding. A lot of us are visual learners. Maybe you'll have that in there. You going to do the audiobook portion of this too?
Yeah.
He's going to have James Earl Jones is going to narrate it.
Oh, I thought you were going to say we're going to have you do it. You pointed to me and then said James Earl Jones.
You're next in line.
Come on now. It is your time. It is your time for a second opinion. It is time for your Financial Compass. Your Financial Compass review, complimentary as you scan the QR code or make the phone call to 888-970-4685. It is putting an income plan together that is going to last. And if you can tell us when you're going to die, we can come up with the perfect retirement plan for you, but we don't have the crystal ball. So why don't we get started right now to try and figure out on the what ifs, how this is going to last. And do you want somebody that you can trust who is going to do what they say they're going to do? The answer is yes. 888-970-4685 to put together your review that won't look like anybody else's. Grateful for your time here. Thanks for putting up with us during this program. And we can't wait to see you in the office. We'll be back here next time on your Financial Compass.